Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
Today, we are talking to founder of Larude. Many of you know the brand. It's an amazing footwear company. I'm wearing the shoes right now, so I'll take a little picture. Follow us on social to see all the behind the scenes. We've actually been with Marina the last hour or so.
4 hours waiting for the studio to open.
So we got to know her pretty intimately. So I'm excited now to get deeper in this conversation. But yeah, we did all our outfit videos. So definitely go Excuse My Grandma on TikTok, Instagram, and make sure you're subscribing to the show. We know that grandma needs to get paid, and that's the best way to do it.
Needs a new pair of fall shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
I can send you some. I know it.
Okay, so let's dive in. Marina, thank you for joining us
so
today.
Much for having me. I'm so excited to be here, guys.
Thank you. Well, Larude has such a cool background, and your time in fashion has been iconic too. You've been fashion director at Barney's and Teen Vogue, and then you launched your own brand. So I want to get into all of that. And you're a very busy woman. Thanks for making this work. You just made the Footwear News Women in Power list.
Yeah,
That's a big deal.
Today. I'm so excited.
Yes. And
amazing.
Yes. Starting your own brand must have been really exciting and challenging. I know we spoke about it being a COVID baby, but talk about that with us and
tell the viewers, because we were downstairs talking for an hour, so we got a little bit behind the scenes, but it's a very interesting story.
So I had the most, amazing career in fashion. I moved to New York and love fashion. So I work at Condé Nast as an editor, fashion director at style.com back in the day, which today it's vogue.com. Then I was at Teen Vogue, fashion director there. Then I went to retail, was fashion director at Barney's. And when the pandemic hit, it was, I found myself without a job at home with my husband, Ricardo. And it was when we set up to do this. It was a matter of, let's say, 4 to 5, 6 months time, that from scratch to literally putting a mood board together to then opening the website. And we launched a fashion footwear brand on December 2020 when there was no vaccine. So it was really
nobody was going.
No one was wearing
shopping.
shoes,
but no one was wearing even shoes.
Right?
And
nobody was doing
a lot of my friends
anything.
were like, "Why are you doing this?" And I think because we had survived the financial crisis, because we had
Gone through it.
the financial crisis. And then I seen the boom of retail a couple of years later. I was like, listen, we're going to set up a company for the future, not for the moment that we're living now.
Right.
This shall pass as well. So it was a good time actually to do a company because we were home.
You were home alone.
We couldn't do anything. So we might as
Exactly.
well just use that time to be very productive, and that's what we set up to do. We bootstrap it all. We did out of our dining room. I remember at the time I was talking to a lot of my friends who were also founders, and I was asking them, how do you do your website? And then they send us to so many agencies, and we're like, no, I cannot afford to pay $50,000 for somebody else to design my website.
Yeah.
So we did it. We did it ourselves on PowerPoint and, hire a developer, and it was crazy fun times.
Because you had all those skills. It's just about applying them in a new way. And your husband, who has a different background too in finance. So that team
We
work
really divided and conquered.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, you do this, I do this. And that's what we did since day one. Start working with the samples. The kids saw literally drawings on paper to then come a first set of samples, to then come a first order. And I guess the most fulfilling moment in that time, it was when people start shopping Larroude that they didn't know us, because for the first month it was just my friends. I was like, oh, it's lovely, but
Yeah.
You
I
can't
don't
live
have
on
that
your
many
friends.
Right.
I need more people to,
We
buy
get one
into
order,
this.
Kim.
Yeah. What roles did your kids play in this? Were they giving input when you were designing?
Well, they were very young.
Oh, they were very young.
Yeah.
My daughter, she was very into, we used to go to restaurants early on, And remember at restaurants when you could scan the QR
Yeah.
code? She was like, Dad, why don't you use the QR code in your business card?
Oh,
And Ricardo
She was very
started,
smart.
thinking about that. And he was like, no, I'm going to do something. I don't know. And then he really thought about it and he designed something unique that he created a QR code that goes into each sole of our shoes and
I
goes
didn't realize
inside the
that.
box that any client can, scan it and then they get a $20
Oh, that's amazing.
credit.
Yeah.
And then if they share like, oh, I love your shoes, then you're like, okay, I'm going to share my link. And then
That's
anytime
so
that someone
good.
buys that shoe from you, then
Mhm.
you get a $20 and then
So
they
it's-
get a
Oh,
$20
wow.
credit.
Right.
So then that came from my daughter
Yeah.
asking like,
That's why young
certain
people
things.
today are changing the world. We can't think, and we say this all the time, we can't think in the old ways.
No.
Everything is new now. Everything is becoming a different world, certainly over the phone and over all your digital
Devices.
Thank you, Kim. And I think we have to think that way. It's like we can't have old people in charge. We need young people like you
They're always
doing new
bringing
companies.
ideas.
And
yes.
and then they will think of new things.
But
and
that
then they'll-
doesn't mean that your voices and opinions aren't useful.
No, our voices are very strong, but the truth is we're usually not innovative.
So you need the
I think
partnership. Like you
yes,
need to say,
exactly.
"Oh, this has worked before."
Right.
Like history repeats
Right.
itself and all that.
That's true.
And you know what works, and then maybe having that new perspective. I mean,
You're hanging out with me too long, Kim.
well, I'm just saying, like this is a partnership between you and I, and like you
Yes.
need those both perspectives.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's a similar thing.
And I think it was very much between Ricardo and I as co-founders of the company because I've been in the fashion industry for 20 years
Mhm.
and he was
Not.
in finance. So for him, he already comes with a very disruptive point of view.
Right.
And it was a time that a lot of things in fashion was changing, right? The wholesale model or print and all those things. So he would be like, if we take this route, we're going to die.
Right.
If you look around.
Yeah.
Right. So it was always, again, all the things that I knew, then I had to break those
molds.
rules and molds because
Mhm.
those won't exist anymore. So we were
Right.
constantly challenging each
Mhm.
other, to
Which
do
is-
something
which is
differently.
great.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
great.
And footwear is obviously your bread and butter. You're going to come out with a bag
Yes,
soon.
we are launching
Will
back.
that have the QR code aspect?
Yes,
Okay, amazing.
all of our products will have the QR code and
That's
hopefully
very
to launch
smart.
handbags very soon. which
Yeah.
we are super excited about.
That's my favorite thing because I feel like I always look at someone, I'm like, oh, I wish I could just go like this and know where their outfit was from.
yes.
And obviously you still have to go up to the person and ask them to scan their
There are a lot of times that I do even like do a screenshot and
reverse Google
and
image
reverse it.
search.
Yes.
Search. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. What about your upbringing in Brazil influenced the brand?
I think coming from Brazil, we used to wear a lot of color,
Mhm.
clearly. So it's something that I really loved. And I realized back in the day when I first come to New York, editors used to wear black.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a thing in New
The
York.
Giorgio Armani look.
Yes. And I was like, I'm gonna stand out if I'm just show up like myself. So I always use that wild card, which is not, but
Mhm.
then just, I saw that color print,
Mhm.
all of that was a big differentiator from me and the other editors. And then when launching Larude, it was the same thing. I was like, if I do quite luxury,
Yeah.
where am I gonna go?
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's already doing that, right? So we set up to do printed shoes, fun, whimsical pieces.
Right.
And, coincidentally, it was the time when there was revenge shopping, when there was a vaccine, and no one wanted to buy black. They
Right.
wanted to buy
Everybody
a
was
printed
excited
shoe.
to go out in the world again and
They wanted
experience
to
fashion.
buy a flower shoe. So
Mhm.
then they came to us.
Right.
One thing led to another, coincidentally. Serendipity in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah. And I feel like that maximalist look is popular still. I
Yes.
mean, and you do have like technically the heels you're wearing today
Yeah.
are kind of quiet luxury
yes.
vibe. So I feel like you have a mix of
What I like to do is I believe that footwear, it's it's a product that you can be you and you can style as you want. So it's not so templatey that everyone, even though we can be wearing the same shoe, we can all, like both of us, all three of us, we can wear the same shoe. And I think that's the beauty of Larroude, right?
Yeah.
Or
And
any
look
other
different.
footwear brand. It doesn't matter your age, could be like 16 to, 85. We can all wear the same, like sneaker, ballerina, flat. And that's the beauty, that you can bring your own point of view and style into the piece that you're wearing.
Yeah.
So you can wear something that is quiet with a fun outfit, or you can make your shoe a statement.
What staple shoe do you think both a grandmother and granddaughter can have in their closet?
I think a ballet flat,
Ballet
like you
flat.
guys are wearing today.
I guess we both are.
Yeah, we are.
Is there any advice your grandparents, if you were close to them, or parents gave you about starting a brand or just a fashion tip?
No, not at all. But I remember when I was a kid, the thing that I would love the most, it was going shopping with my grandma. And I was 8, and we would go to a shoe store, and I used to buy Melissa. Do you remember like those rubbery shoes that has like strawberry smell? Yeah.
That's
So
so funny.
I always loved to do that more than
Yeah.
buying a doll or anything. And it's
Yeah.
funny that years later,
You're doing
here I am.
shoes.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
are.
At least I don't have to buy more shoes, but I'm still in that same.
Right. You gravitated
Yeah.
toward that your whole life. That's so interesting. And also in your fashion experience, obviously you've been doing it since you're young, and
She's still
Very
young.
long
you're still
time. No,
young,
for
but
a very long time.
were there any mistakes you were making, or like any Devil
So
Wears
many.
Prada moment where you're like, oh shit?
Oh my God, yes, all the time.
Yeah.
But you know what? I find that I rather take the mistake. I rather like wear the look. My mom used to tell me like, "Oh my God, no one had uglier shoes than you did when you were a kid." I'm like, "Yeah, it served me,
Yeah.
And I played the same rule with my kids. I'm like, "Go play with your creativity.
Right.
Wear the outfit, wear the shoe,
Mhm.
be playful." Because we were just talking before that on being creative could be with language, writing, and I find that playing with outfits is also part of your creative field,
Creativity.
testing things that could work or could not work. And a lot of things at Larroude, we test things very fast too.
Yeah, that's so fair, because I feel like I am scared to take risks sometimes. And like, I feel like that's why I'm always asking my grandma for fashion advice, because I genuinely don't trust whether something looks good.
She doesn't
Unless
have
it's-
confidence in her own look, and she has a great look.
Yes.
Every single person that looks at you said, "Oh my gosh, your granddaughter looks fabulous."
But I feel like
Yes,
it's because
I
you helped me
agree.
put it together.
Well, you know what? I think you don't think about it as much as I do. We've
No, I
discussed this.
do.
You
I
have
think
to
about it all day long.
Yeah, but well, your closet does not reflect that. So my advice to people who can't make decisions are put your shoes in one area. Think about them with the pants that you would wear with them. Don't have them scattered all over the place so you don't
Be
know what
organized.
goes. Organize your
Yeah.
closet, organize your fashion statements, and then put it sort of with the shirt or the sweater close to each other so that you could grab it. Like in the morning, you don't have to think, "Oh my gosh, what's going to go with that pair of pants? What shoe am I going to wear with that?" If you do it even the night before, if you know you have an appointment, it cuts out so much stress the following day. Just sort of like when we went to school. At least I did
Yeah,
that. We had to lay our clothes out
Yeah.
at night. We didn't have a uniform. We had to really do it. And think about it. Well, will those jeans go with that sweater with those shoes? And I think, look at how beautiful she looks with all the different components: a fabulous jacket, a pair of jeans, which are nothing. Everybody has a
Yeah.
pair of jeans in their closet, and her beautiful shoes. But one good piece sometimes in a closet, one good pair of shoes can go for many years. You just recycle it into different looks,
Yes.
which is, I believe, is a very strong point.
But I have a funny story. I always have like my favorite pieces, right?
Right,
Like today, and I like to have my own things. So today I'm like, okay, I'm going to wear my favorite jacket.
Mhm.
Right.
So, and then I can wear with a jean.
Right.
Mhm.
And when I was interviewing for the Barney's job, I had this green tie-dye dress from Zara
Uh-huh.
that I love, and I loved it so much, and I feel like, my best in it. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear this to my interview, and I did. But the interview process took 6 months, and I met with so many people.
Yeah.
So then later on, after I took the job, my boss at the time, she's like, "Oh, you really love that dress. You come meet
wore
with
it
me
twice?
twice
Oh,
With the
no.
same
Yeah.
dress.
With the
know.
dress. So imagine interviewing for the Barney's fashion director job and wearing the same printed dress
That's
with the
so
same.
wild.
I was like, but it took.
They should have hired you faster. That was the moral of that
Yeah,
story.
true. Like they should have hired you before the 10th interview.
I mean, there's only so many clothes in the closet that you want to repeat.
You know what that's like? I feel like when I was going on lots of dates with different people, I would be like, shoot, I can't remember if I wore this outfit with
To
this
the same
guy already.
Yeah, am I on date 2, 3? Like, did I wear it? Yes.
Like, was it right? Was date 3 with this person? Did I wear it with that? So then I'm like, do you have to take pictures of yourself and like write where you were going? But on a date, they don't like, they're realistically
pays
not going to be like,
attention.
But
you wore that black
show up
top.
again, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a little weird
Yeah.
to show up in the same outfit.
In the
twice.
second. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, especially if it's like 2 dates in a row
Yes.
and you're like, didn't you wear that same dress? It is weird. It's
Most
funny.
guys wouldn't remember that.
Yeah, I
they were
don't
looking
think
at your
they
baby.
would.
They were looking at your baby blues.
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, most guys wouldn't remember, but if you're applying for a fashion
Well,
job,
that's
they
a
for
different
I was
sure
like,
remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sake.
Yeah. It's so funny because my boyfriend, like, whenever we're talking about certain things, he's like, let me put this in dating terms for you. If I'm like not getting, he's like, what if on a second date this person said this to you? I was like, oh, that's terrible. And he's like, now you get why this is bad in a situation. So it's always like in relationship terms. I feel like that's a great metaphor for me. What do you think is actually worth buying this fall, either shoe-wise or otherwise, that you think will be a big trend this season?
I think I really like to do investment pieces, think that I would love and wear no matter if it is this fall or next fall. And that's what I like. Whenever I'm shopping something, I'm like, how much am I going to wear of this? Of course, there are the emotional pieces that
Yeah,
you want to
right.
wear it right now.
Yeah.
Could be like the chocolate brown that we were talking before. But I think a very nice ballerina flat, it's a great transitional piece.
Yeah, love that. Okay, let's move on to the drama club. So on this segment, we discuss a trending either fashion or lifestyle or celebrity thing that's going on in the news. We wanted to talk to you about Anna Wintour tapping Chloe Mal as the new editor of American Vogue.
Yes.
She's 39 years old. That's like, that's pretty young. I think it's actually the same age as Anna was
Okay.
back in 1988. Do you think that younger generation will be like reflected in the choices that she's going to make?
I
So.
love Chloe. She's so hardworking. I know I had worked with her before. I think she's super talented, super smart. I think she has a big challenge ahead of her. I think she's already editing Vogue.com. So we already see what she's doing. I think the question is how much of a change that we're going to see. But I like when I read the New York Times when she was saying that she wants the magazine to be fewer editions and more collectible items. That, I text Chloe myself, was like, oh, this is a great idea. I would love to. I would love to collect those amazing fashion magazines. And I wonder how the transformation is going to be. I wonder if we're going to see anything that it's different from already seeing
style-wise. I think what's going to happen is they have to do it because they don't get the advertisers that they did 10 years ago because of people are buying online. But I remember when I was like in my 30s because and I had a young family. I used to love to look at the magazines, which I don't look at anymore, but I used to hold, and I think I had copies for 10, 15 years of Architectural Digest, where you used to look at it and keep them as references. And I'm hoping that's maybe what she's going to do in fashion. She's going to have beautiful editions on beautiful paper that makes people want to save it. And we're all wishing her luck.
You have access to designers and stories that it's
and not the same old.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Kim Kardashian every single
like a
week.
longer piece.
I would love to see more fashion stories.
Yes, I would
celebrity
too.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Does that mean that it would be more expensive to buy an issue, I guess?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think so. Well, if they raise the quality.
Yeah.
But if you figure that you're only going to do it 4 times a year versus every month, it's probably ends up to be the same for the
maybe.
consumer.
Yeah. The traditional title of editor-in-chief also has been retired in this like structural shift at Condé Nast. What do you think that says about how media companies are evolving? I think it's now head of editorial content is the title.
I mean, content right now, It's much bigger than an editor-in-chief used to do. 70 pages in a magazine. I don't know, 200 pages in a magazine.
Right.
How many stories do you publish in a day, right? And then there's TikTok and then there's Instagram.
that's
So
the
like
whole thing.
content, it is the world that it is how it's displayed right now. But I guess for, I was an editor before, and I think it would be nice to have the editor-in-chief job, like title.
Yeah.
I like head of content, but for the title, I wish that the girls could cap the old school.
Maybe Anna's like, no one else will have that name again after
It's like
me.
CEO. Do you understand? It's like one of those names that it's like, just give the title.
Exactly. Yeah. Grandma, I feel like you've watched her career evolve, I guess.
Yeah, I did, sweetheart. And it was so interesting. Before this all happened, you and I were watching the Met Gala together. So that's a couple of months ago.
May. It's almost
no, how long?
May.
Well, whatever, May.
Yeah,
a couple of months.
ago. Yeah.
And I saw the end of her career that night. And I
'Cause you
said
didn't
it
like
to you.
it,
I
yeah.
said it to you that night, and I sort of said
But
it
we
on our.
watched the entire live stream, which was like 4 hours,
But
and we were
no,
just like,
it was
who's sitting down and watching this?
No,
whole
it was
thing?
over. You could almost see that was the passing of a moment, and I think she was smart to say goodbye now when she was at what maybe not her high, but she was still pretty high in the echelon of fashion, because
She's also
young
still
people.
involved. She's not saying goodbye.
Yeah, but
yeah.
young people are not interested in what was going on that night. And except for Diana Ross, who stole the show, there was a big bore. So I think fashion has to keep up with the times, has to keep up with young people and what they're thinking, and what older people really want. And I think somewhere along the line that got messed up. So this is a new phase for Vogue. I think this young woman has certainly loads of experience.
Yes, pressure's
and
on, though.
the pressure's on, and we all wish her luck. But it's time for a change.
Yeah,
it was time for a change.
Okay, let's move on to the Grandma Report. So there's an article that came out the other week from The Cut. It's about spent too much money this summer. Here's what to do. Because after summer vacations, people are feeling financially drained, and experts are recommending planning the next 3 months ahead. So like gifts you're going to spend on people, how to avoid those last minute splurges and like those emotional shopping moments. So I was curious how you can like plan for a trendy, fashionable fall without doing those spontaneous purchases, or maybe you are going to allow yourself to do those spontaneous purchases, but it's like that one timeless piece, as you were saying earlier.
I think there was a time when people were buying coats in July.
Yeah.
And I think the customers right now, they are much more conscious and they're shopping things that they can buy now and wear now. I see for Larroude, we're selling a lot of ballet flats and sneakers, much more than we're selling boots, and we're in September.
Right.
Which 2 years ago we would be selling boots. So I think the customers now they want that immediate.
Yep.
They are not even, not to say that we're not selling boots, but then the majority of the things, the top sellers are like sneakers and ballet flats, and of course those are trendy items. But I think that then the boot season, when it starts getting really cold, October, November, that's when they're gonna buy. So the customers right now, they're shopping carefully, and not shopping an entire wardrobe 3 months the season actually starts. Because God knows the weather too, right? It changes. There's a season that is very cold, there's a season that is very warm. So people are more
conscious of what they're their pocketbook. And I know I've been reading loads of articles that go along with this thing. Young people in their 20s and early 30s are spending an enormous amount on weddings, on gifts.
Yes.
And that has to be cut back. Somehow along the way, that's gotten out of hand. And I think that's what they're feeling now. There's a crunch and everything is costing more.
Yes.
So I think people are going to buy basics.
Yes.
They're going to buy basics that they need to wear for that moment. They're not going to think about, well, maybe I have a wedding in December and I need to buy shoes.
No, and it's like a 4-day wedding, right?
Exactly.
And it's like 5 different outfits.
Yeah,
it's like, how about, and then at my time it was like, okay, you're going to buy one boot.
One outfit.
But then, and then you would wear all the boots with everything.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, the difference is the people taking all the pictures. So everybody sees, this is what Kimmy and I have discussed this a million times. She said, oh, I can't wear that dress again.
If I posted in it last week at a wedding, I can't wear it this week.
But those people weren't going to be on this week's wedding.
Yeah, but they saw it.
I know. This is the problem, though.
Feeling too.
And I think what happens is you need to buy classic. You need to buy the pair of sneakers that you know you're
That
going to
you
wear
love.
all week and
Agree.
not worry about the one wedding that you're going to have down the road.
Yeah.
And maybe go back in your closet and pull a vintage out.
Mhm.
So that you don't spend so much on those kind of
Maybe
one-time
you don't
items.
need like, 5 new coats. Maybe you
Exactly.
don't need a coat this year.
Yeah.
Maybe you have coats from next year. And,
Exactly.
you're gonna have to
You're going to have to
pick
mix and
choose.
match.
Yeah, mix and match.
Yeah. But somehow I still go into the closet and I'm like, shoot, I don't like actually before these
Mhm.
Larude flats that you
You have to
graciously
show these
gifted
on,
me,
Kim, 'cause
I
they're the
didn't
greatest.
have brown flats. So like there were so many outfits that I was like, okay, like I don't have a shoe that will work
Mhm.
with this. So like you can't just have one boot, one shoe. Like you
No.
need it in all
But I
the
think I find that there's always like one item that you buy could be, for me it was when I got the Alaya bag, that new modern shape.
Right.
And I got it last year, and I was like, I know that this is modern
Gonna wear
enough
it. Yeah.
that every outfit that I'm gonna wear, it's gonna bring an edge to
Right.
it.
true.
So, what are the belly flat that you want to get that you're
Mhm.
gonna feel that you have
Right.
a fall fresh
Right.
into your sweaters that you already have from last year?
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
So that's where I find that you need to be mindful to buy certain things that will make your old looks feel fresh.
Right.
Mhm. That's a
You
good
don't
tip.
need purple to go into fall or
Yes.
maroon. Excuse me, I can't get the words out. But you do need basic brown,
Yeah.
and you do need basic black.
Mhm.
So if you're on a budget, go for those two color shoes.
Right.
You're always going to wear those.
Yes.
Then, if you happen to make a couple of extra bucks, go for the wine color shoe,
Mhm.
or the purple shoe or the green shoe or whatever you want. But I do think people are going to be cost conscious because their prices are going up, and
Yes.
there's nothing you can do about
It's
that.
already
That's
going
just
up.
that's the state of affairs right now, and you have to be mindful of what you're spending.
Yeah.
So,
They do say the experts in this article to use the 2-month wait rule,
Oh.
which is like hold off on big purchases, since prices usually drop
around
later.
Christmas.
But like, do you think that's realistic in fashion when things sell out so fast? Because I get upset when I'm like, oh, I want this. If I wait and I see it's sold out, I'm gonna have regret.
Listen, what do I do? What I would say, there's not unlimited inventory out there.
Yeah.
Right. So if it is something that you really love,
Right.
get it.
Yeah.
But then you're not, and it's also what I tell my daughter, you're not going to be able to get everything.
No.
So
Right. Exactly.
pick and choose.
Right.
Pick and choose.
Yeah.
But I also think that there are like other options nowadays, right? You can buy certain things at resale
Yeah.
items,
Or a dupe of
and I do
something.
think that Uniqlo does amazing cashmere sweaters that you can get for $40, right? There,
Mhm.
Aritzia, there are other brands that you can lay in. Again, not to shop 10 cashmere sweaters. That's
Yeah.
not what I'm saying. But you can buy like one fresh thing
Yeah.
and a new great pair of shoe and make your outfit feel fresh
Mhm.
again.
Mm-hmm. That's great advice. Okay, let's do the rewind. So, Grandma and I typically talk about what we're watching
Mhm.
on TV. I want to talk about this show because I'm so obsessed. Love Thy Nader.
Yes.
It's this new reality TV family. Brooke Nader is a model, and it's her and her sisters in New York, and they're all modeling, and they're from Louisiana, and they're like showing their lives in New York City. And I couldn't believe it because there was an episode with a Larude campaign,
Yes.
and I was like, "This is perfect because we have you coming on, Marina."
Loved
And
it so much.
it's so good. Did you watch the whole season?
Yes.
Okay. I have so many questions.
Tell me.
Wait,
Oh,
were you
God,
there at that
Kimberly.
shoot?
I was.
Okay. I think
So it was so funny because
yeah.
Brooks has been wearing Larroude,
Yeah.
she and her sister, since we launched.
Oh,
Okay. Wow.
So
long
we
time.
are friends. She has been to so many of our parties. She's like a huge supporter since day one. And then we were shooting her this summer, and she was like, "Wait, I'm taping a TV show. Can my crew come?" I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, it's great
They
press.
must come."
Yeah.
So we had an amazing day at the Hamptons. I
Mhm.
was there, like the crew was there. We
Mhm.
couldn't say anything before it was live, but when I saw that
Yeah.
we had such a big moment on TV, I'm like, "Oh, that was nice."
Yeah.
terrific.
So, Grandma, the controversy was Brooks had this campaign in the Hamptons with Larude, and her sister, Grace Ann, had her birthday party in New York City the same day.
Oh no.
So,
So that's the conflict.
right, that was the conflict. And Brooks, last minute told Grace Ann she wasn't going to make it to the birthday. My question is, was she talking about it on set? Like, was she saying to you, oh no, I'm not going to make the birthday? Or was it like not mentioned?
She was like, "I have a cutoff. I need to go." And
Oh,
we're
so
like,
she was
"But
trying.
we need to really shoot more things,
Yeah.
Brooks. But yeah, no, it was like, I need to leave.
So she
I
did
need
think
to
she
leave.
was gonna make it. It wasn't like actually a different day.
No,
and then-
she wanted to leave. There
Yeah.
was like a cutoff.
Well,
time.
she
Yes.
knew her priorities.
She
Family
needed to
first.
come back. I didn't know it. I didn't know it was at that time. I didn't know what it
Right.
was for, but she
Right.
was like, I need to leave, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I guess she
Well, it's
couldn't
not
make,
an easy. It's not a 5-minute trip back to the city.
So she couldn't make the birthday in the end.
Oh, she didn't
no,
make it.
No.
Oh,
She finished the shoot, which like obviously if you have a work commitment, you have to like abide
Yes,
by that.
right.
Otherwise, she shouldn't have agreed to that day. And also, we've gotten work opportunities that grandma, like you've turned it down because it's on a family birthday.
yeah. I mean, there's it's what you want to do 1st. I
Mhm.
mean, it's what your priority
Mhm.
are, and there's some things It sounds great when you're reading about it and when they push it, for you to do. But if it conflicts with an anniversary or a birthday,
Mhm.
I say no. We'll have to do it another time. But then again, if it can be both done in the same day,
Yeah.
it's very
Yes.
nice. It's,
That's the
you know,
ideal.
if the
Yeah.
ideal is to do both.
Well, somehow my grandma, my grandpa, and my mom's birthday are 3 days in a row.
That's
Wow.
true.
That's me and my
It's
husband.
hell.
and my mom.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
gosh.
Same thing.
Same thing.
And somehow there's always like huge work opportunities those like three that weekend.
Right.
It's always fashion week,
Always.
too. So it's like
Okay.
we always end up saying no. There was one time I got to go to like I think it was like a Love Shack fancy event.
But we
and
missed
then I
going to
made-
LA last year because of, I think it was our birthdays. That was the
forgot what it
same.
was for.
Whatever.
But-
There's nothing we could do about it. You can't. Families first.
But when is it okay to choose work over family, do you think?
I don't think ever.
I mean, I work with my family.
Yeah.
So
Right, so you've got
last
it
year
easy.
we opened our factory in Brazil, and my husband and I, we are like a day apart. So
Right.
we celebrated our birthday
Right.
opening the factory.
Right.
Right. Whenever it's my kids and then they're still young,
Mm-hmm.
I
You have to do
like I missed once Gloria's birthday because I had to go to Paris to buy Chanel shoes for Barney's at the time, which was fabulous.
Yeah.
But
You had to go.
But I had to. But I actually had
Yeah.
to, and I was like, "Sorry, Gloria, I really cannot."
But
And
you
then
thought
was-
about it. It was a
I-
guilt trip
yeah,
later.
It was. I was very upset.
Yeah.
But and also on another way, I was like, okay, I need to pay rent. Right? It's your
Yeah.
part of a job. I think once we later in life, because we own our own company or you do your own thing, then you have those
Can adjust it.
privilege
Mhm.
to choose and pick.
Right.
But there are a lot of times
You
when I
can't.
had a career that I couldn't, right?
And
So
you're
working
you
for
gotta
somebody
do
else.
It. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Such a good point. And like I feel like Brooks on the show even said that where she was like, how do you think we're living in this Soho loft? Like the
Yeah.
three of us.
Yes,
like
right.
I have to say yes to these jobs
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be successful. So it's definitely a hard
It is
one.
a compromise,
Yeah, it's a
right? And
compromise.
it doesn't matter if it is it could be a birthday, but could also be a Sunday, and you
Right.
have to do it, right?
Mhm.
And I think it takes work.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, we're gonna do our Ask Grandma Anything. So we have questions from our audience
Okay.
for Grandma, and you and I, Marina, will help answer them. So the first one is he wants to be intentional and go slow, but it feels so slow. I almost feel rejected in the relationship. What should I do?
Leave.
Wow. How old are they? This so depends on the age of the people. I hate to generalize because, when you're in your early 20s and if they're going slow, that's fine because you have so many other commitments and it's
But
hard.
if it's so slow you feel rejected, I agree. Leave. Like you should never feel
If
rejected.
he's not showing interest,
Yeah.
like
Well, I
it's
think
not
it's
being slow. It's just like he's not
Exactly.
interested in
Right.
you. Then leave.
You're not a priority.
Yeah.
You might be interested, but you're
Right.
not a priority. And that's my only advice to somebody who's been in something for a while.
Mhm.
If they are going so slow, there's a reason that they're probably really not sure that this is the right relationship.
Well, like what is slow in your eyes, do you think?
Well, my eyes.
hear it,
But
hear it.
but I don't believe in long, prolonged relationships other than getting married. I don't believe that you should live with somebody for years or 6 months or 8 months because you're not going to know him any or her any differently until you really, really commit. And commitment is much different than living together. People live together for years and they get married and they get divorced. So I think it's more about making the decision. This is who I want to plan my life with, and let's get on with it. I don't mean after a first date. And there are some people who say they fell in love after the first date, and good luck to them.
I did.
Yeah,
this
and my husband
guy.
says he did. I didn't. So, yeah, it's wonderful.
I didn't even ask how you first met your husband.
Oh, yeah.
So we met in Brazil at a bar, and it was like between like a huge group of people, and we started dating. And he
And how
proposed
old
to
were
me-
you?
I was 23.
So you were young. Right,
He proposed to me 6 months later,
right.
and we
That's
got
what
married 6 months after.
Wow.
So we got married within a year.
That's what I did.
I was 24, he was 25.
Right.
Wild.
No, but I think that to me is correct.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's what you did. So you
that's
think
what
it's
I did.
correct.
But then
Well, I
for
think
me-
it's because then you're not going to know anybody any better. So it's either going to work or it's not going
But
to
I
work.
also think that nowadays everyone's like, oh, I want to have a successful
Right.
career.
Well, that's
I
a
want to
whole
do this. I want to do that. I want to do that. And for us, we're like, we know this.
Right. You wanna
We're
do
going to
it
build our
together.
lives together.
Right.
But then that also meant that I was an intern and I was
Right.
was a newlywed.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
a choice too.
Yeah.
Right.
But we decided to do it together.
Yeah. It's so interesting because I feel like for that to have worked, you two had to be aligned in your timing. Like if one of you was ready to get engaged after 6 months and the other
Yeah.
one was like, this feels fast for me,
Yeah.
that would have been an issue. So like in this case,
Well, that sounds like what's happening with
yeah.
this.
if one
this couple.
person feels like I want to move faster and the other is like I'm moving slow, it might not be that he's not interested in it or that he's at fault rather than like
You're
your
not aligned.
timelines are not
Yes.
aligned.
Yeah.
Um
But that's something to take into consideration because you might never be aligned. So if you're
or
not
it just
willing
might
to
take
take
some
the
catching up. Like I think you have to give it like a window, you know?
Okay.
Like I don't think like if after a week you're like,
Oh,
oh, I feel like I'm
No,
faster
but I
than
think
you.
it's different things, right? It's like, listen, I'm dedicating a lot of my
Right,
time
time
to work right now. I
Right.
have to work at certain hours. So I really like
Yes.
you. So I think it's
Age
bigger. The
is-
question is
right.
bigger than that. And then might be that she want to get married right away. And the guy's like, I'm building up my career.
Right.
I can, for
I
the
can't do
first 2 or 3 years in our marriage, Ricardo was working until 2 a.m.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, we are married and we want to be together. But for a very long time, he was almost
Yeah.
like unavailable,
Yeah. Yeah.
But you were much younger,
Yes.
like I was.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
So that's the difference. I think now so many of the young people wait till they're in their late 20s, 30s, and by that time
Buy their first
career-
apartment and then get married.
Right. They better wake up.
I think that's a great point though, that you should, if he's just saying, I want to be intentional, like what does that mean? Is it like because of the work? Is it because like I feel like what you should do is ask a question of like, what does that mean? And is it because you're figuring out what XYZ? Because that's probably what's causing confusion. Okay, next question. How about a fling with your husband? How can you create that within your own marriage? So I guess like keeping the romance
Well,
alive.
I think every day should be an adventure. It isn't 24/7 adventure, but something to look forward to, even if it's date night.
Mm-hmm.
People take one day out of a week and say, listen, we'll have a bottle of wine and we'll sit and even if it's takeout pizza, but be together,
Yeah.
be with each other.
We're
um,
adamant about that too.
yeah.
We're like, okay,
Yeah.
Fridays and Saturdays,
It's
like
for the family.
even if
for
it
you.
is very busy,
Right.
we're like, no, we have to do one date night a week.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Take a walk together. Go see an exhibition someplace, just the two of you. And there's so many ways of doing it. I think that somebody who doesn't do that ends up with no relationship. They can't sustain it over a long period of time.
Okay, let's finish out the episode with Grandma Gail's old-fashioned dating quiz. So this is like rapid fire. We're gonna
Okay.
figure out whether you're more
I know where
traditional
she's going.
or more modern in your
Okay.
dating thinking. Okay, would you rather receive a call or a text from your husband if it's just to say hi?
A text in the middle of the day.
Yeah. Would you sleep with someone on the first date?
No, but I mean, I wish I was young today. I don't know.
I don't think most of them do it either.
Dating apps or setups?
Again, I never was part of the dating
Right,
app.
that's-
So
Yeah.
sometimes I'm
That's
like,
all right.
sometimes I ask my friends, I'm like, can I take a look? Can I see how
Yeah,
that
it's
is?
fun.
I think setups.
Yeah. Although, like, you met your husband in the wild, so, like, that should be a
Yes.
third option, you know?
Yeah,
Just, like,
just
natural. Everyone is gonna say that
natural.
as their first.
Yeah, but I think isn't it nicer if you meet someone at school, if you meet someone through
Right.
friends, just in
For
a
sure.
natural environment,
Right.
just the serendipity that
But
helps.
as you get older, it gets harder to do
Gets
that.
harder.
It
Yes.
gets harder. When you're in a school situation and young, you seem to have it because you're all in a small community. Once you're
Mhm.
working in the workforce, it's not so easy to
Yeah.
do that.
Move in together before getting engaged or after you're married?
For us, it happened before because we both moved to New York
Mm-hmm.
at the time, but it was about 2 weeks and then he proposed. So,
Right.
Pretty
You knew
much
that it was coming.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Um, when you get engaged, should you look at rings together or have it be like a surprise?
You know what? He proposed to me with my wedding band
Pretty.
because we were broke at the time. I tell my kid that we were like 24-year-old.
I
Like
love that
how
you
would
wear
he
it,
has
though, and, like,
and then
stack everything.
later on he bought his grandmother stone and we
Said it.
set it like 7 years later.
So
So
nice.
again, for me, it was about like being together at the
Together.
time.
That's
And
correct.
yeah,
Yeah, very nice.
but I mean, if you can, pick your ring, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Who should pay for the date? Should it be one person in the relationship or should you split, alternate?
That I'm old school.
Yeah.
Maybe in the beginning of it, like the guy should pay, and then you guys can start splitting the bill, just as a show that there is some like romance into it.
Yeah,
But you know what? Until today, Ricardo and I, when we go out for dinner, and we, of course, we have the same bank account,
Right.
and we have been married for 21 years. I'd never seen a bill from a restaurant.
Right. He's always.
That's
He
nice.
always he's like, I don't want to show it to you.
I'm married.
It's the romance
62
in our
years.
relationship.
I have never seen a
Yeah.
bill.
Yeah.
What do you mean seen a bill? Like you never looked
I've-
over or like you've never
No,
had to sign
I've
one
never
yourself?
paid when Poppy and I were
For
going
the
out or
restaurants,
married or
for the
whatever.
restaurants, Ricardo, it's like, no, I just want to make this as a date night.
Yeah,
So you don't
I
need to
feel-
think how much
Right.
that was. And again, guys, we work together.
Right.
I like we bring the same money into the bank
Right.
account, like that whole thing. But it's just that
It's that
little
old-
romance that
Right.
he's like, I don't want you to see
Still
it.
the male thinking that he's taking care of you. It's still that in their minds. That's very much a male.
I don't even know if it's in their minds or like or I think like in both the people's minds. Cause like for me too, like I feel like if we're on a date night, if we're sitting at a restaurant at dinner, my boyfriend's paying. But like that doesn't mean that earlier in the day, if I'm picking up lunch, like I would pick up the lunch and it could be the exact same
Oh
price.
yes, but then listen, I'm also very independent, and I always like to buy my own things.
Yeah.
And as a friend of mine, a former boss of mine, she's like, I always wanted to buy my own pantyhose. So for me, I always
Yeah.
wanted to have my money to buy my
Yeah,
own
well,
thing.
you should
Yeah.
anyway.
But when we're going out for a dinner
Totally.
date, he would take care of it
Right.
to
Yeah.
pretend that we're like on a romantic
Right.
date. That's it.
Pretend. Okay, I think you're a little more traditional.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
seems. But
She would
But-
be.
thank you so much for joining
Thank you
us.
so
Terrific.
much, guys.
I
Tell
love it, and
everyone-
we love your shoes.
Thank you.
We
Thank
definitely
you.
love you. Kimberly wears this particular pair
I know.
all the
These
time.
are the new ones that I
Yes,
got, but
those are like hand woven. It's
so
really nice.
beautiful. I'll post pictures online for those who are just listening. But
don't know if
I'm
they
a
can see
huge
your
fan.
Thank you.
My mom is,
Same.
grandma is now. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
been
so
a
patient
pleasure.
and waiting for the studio.
Yes.
I mean, I had the best time.
had
It was
fun.
the best way to start my morning chatting with you guys.
good. Yeah, I know. I feel like we know each other so well now.
Now
So
we're
good
best friends. We're besties.
Now I'm gonna get a call from my cousin who is such a fan of you guys, and my daughter. It's gonna
Oh,
be like, how do you
good.
know them? Yeah. It's
Well, now
gonna
you're
be-
like, these are my new best friends.
I'm gonna be like,
Exactly.
yes, girls.
Tell everyone
you.
how they can find you, shop your shoes.
So go to Larude.com to shop all of her shoes.
amazing.
Oh, sorry, at Larude.
And and we will see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.